Hi guys, so there's a very interesting piece in The Independent that claims that Tories in North Shropshire ahead of the by-election this week are getting worried about how Johnson is turning off potential voters. Campaigners and canvassers in the constituency have been on the receiving end of a tongue-lashing from potential voters as they've been attempting to drum up support for the Conservative candidate who wishes to take over from the disgraced former holder of that seat, Owen Paterson. The man the Tories want to win the seat, Neil Shastri Hurst, has had to answer more questions about Boris Johnson's behaviour, it seems, than anything he plans to do for voters once he's elected. One campaigner for the Tory party was quite frank when he said, and I quote, "I think he's been a slight hindrance. That's what people are telling us. They are mentioning these things, so it becomes our job to get them back to the subject, which is making sure we get the right candidate for North Shropshire." This should have been a cakewalk for the Tories. Paterson previously held the seat with a massive majority close to 23,000. Of course, he's not standing for obvious reasons, and if both the Lib Dems and the Labour Party work together, they have a chance to flip this once safe Tory seat. While the corruption surrounding Paterson was bad, it didn't seem really enough to convince more people to vote against the Tories. That seems to have changed over the last week, as anger is at boiling point over allegations that a party was held at number 10, something that Johnson tried to avoid talking about. Then we had on Sunday a photo of Boris Johnson flanked by a man wearing tinsel while another was wearing a Christmas hat. The official line is that this was a Zoom call, not a Christmas party. There is a great sense of fear in North Shropshire among Tory activists that the seat may end up being lost to either Labour or the Lib Dems. And the Conservatives in the area are quite clear about who is to blame: Boris Johnson. Another problem for the Tories is that it can be hard to get through to many potential voters because while Boris Johnson was gold with his Get Brexit Done back in 2019, disaster and scandal have turned him into what some activists regard as a Marmite figure. You either love him or you hate him. There is very little middle ground here. North Shropshire could be a watershed moment for the Tories. If they lose this one safe seat, the calls within the party for Johnson to go will likely become too loud for the likes of the 1922 committee to ignore. While if they do hold on to the seat, it will be with a massively reduced majority. If the latter happens, no doubt Johnson and the leadership will put on a positive spin, claiming that it was an endorsement of the leader. However, it will really frighten the likes of those MPs in the so-called red wall seats, who in many cases got in with the skin of their teeth, some with majorities in the low hundreds. So a loss in North Shropshire could really damage the image of Boris Johnson being a winner and put many Tories on edge. And if Boris Johnson doesn't go following a loss, it would really damage the Tories' hopes of clinging on to power going forward. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.